Alright, so we're going to polish the hood after the paint and everything. You can see there's some little nibs here and there. I don't know if you can see there. And a little bit of dust and some lint. It's natural. You probably carry it into your booth if your booth is really sealed up. There's another big one. That's a nice one. And the hood generally has quite a bit of orange peel. It was hot when I painted this. I tried to wait it out. I tried to paint late at night, early in the mornings. I just couldn't keep to that schedule. So you generally don't want to paint when it's above like 26 degrees, in my opinion. And because what I do is custom painting, generally my film build is much higher. This hood has 4 coats, if you include the first sort of semi-wet coat of paint of oxblood red maroon, which is the original color for this Cadillac. And then it's got 4 coats of high solids clear over it. So when you do that many layers, expect a bit of dust and that sort of thing. We're probably going to sand away an entire layer on this car. How we're going to do this is for problem areas like here and all these little nibs and that sort of thing, I'm going to be using a hard block with 1,200 grit sandpaper. It's nice and coarse. The hard block allows me to sort of cut it down. If my nib is like that, then what it allows me to do is just work my way through the top of it. When I'm sanding to remove nibs and that sort of thing with a rougher sandpaper, I'll be sanding like this on the car. Basically vertical to the long lines of the vehicle. When I sand with my 2000 grit, I'm going to be sanding across that in that direction. The reason you do this is because you don't generally see the sanding marks that you might miss when you're buffing if it's parallel to the longest lines of the vehicle. The eye doesn't really catch it that easy. The other reason is when I sand with my 1200 grit this way, and I go over it with a 2000 grit to remove the scratches and some orange peel, while I'm buffing, I can clearly see which of my sandpapers has left a mark behind. It allows me to know, okay, I need to go back in and I need to use a bit of 2000 grit sandpaper. Or, okay, it's just the sanding marks from the 2000, I can just continue buffing and I'll get it out. More than likely, when you are buffing, by the time you get to the end, you're going to see marks that you missed. You're going to see nibs that you missed. There's nothing wrong with that. You just go back in and you fix it. The other reason why we don't sand like this is because you will get little pieces of dust and speckles and stuff from sanding. And when you're sanding like this with your sandpaper, all those little specks and stuff just stay under your sandpaper the whole time. When you're sanding in straight lines, what happens is you're working the dust out from your sandpaper. You're moving it away the whole time. You'll see when I use the 2000 grit sandpaper, I generally use the soft block like this. Maybe I'll stack 2 on top of each other. They also work amazing for squeegees. So you squeegee your water away when you're done. And that's about it. This is the best part of doing a car. You get to see what all the effort has brought you. You get to see all the hard work, all the sanding, all the body work that you've done on the vehicle. And it always, it just warms my heart. I just love doing this step of the vehicle. It's something you have to take your time with. There are many methods you could use. You could use dry sanding, which I do use, but it's hot today. I want to cool down a bit. So, when you do wet sanding, water gets everywhere. That's why I'm in flip-flops, shorts, and a short sleeve shirt. What I'll be using for my cutting compounds and soil removers and that sort of thing is Presta. I'm using a wool mop with Presta Ultra Cutting Cream. It's fantastic stuff. It works amazingly. Next, just to remove the swirls from this product, I use a swirl remover. Once again, fantastic. I use a merino wool mop for that. You use about twice as much cutting cream as swirl remover, easily. And lastly, I'll go in with base wax, also from Presta, and I apply it with a little cloth or a sponge, application sponge, whatever, and I remove it with a microfiber cloth. and then you just wash it, and you're done. And yeah, so let's get to the hard work. It's going to take a minute to do this, but it is so worth it. I love doing this part of the job. You really get to bring out that shine. Cool. Okay, so we finished up sanding with a 2000 grit in the horizontal direction when it's on the car. On like visual inspection, we can see there's no, cross hatching from the previous grit sandpaper. Most of the orange peel's gone. When you're sanding, you need to be especially careful of edges like this. You buff through and sand through so quickly. So you don't go too hard or too long on there. You'd rather have an imperfection. Alright, so we're at this point. I finished using the Presta Ultra Cutting Cream. I visually inspect the thing. I can't see any scratches, sanding marks, that sort of thing. There's still a bit of orange peel, but that's really not an issue. I mean, like I said, it's not a show car, But yeah, you should not use any of these products in the sun though. For two reasons. One, it'll dry them out and you'll just end up scratching everything. Secondly, it's chemically not good to have this stuff in the sun. Um, yeah, and so the next cutting cream we'll be using is, well, it's not a cutting cream, it's a swirl remover. You can see, okay, swirl remover. It's very good. We're not going to hit it with high speed. We'll probably use about 1,500 RPMs, which is just to remove halo marks and basically cutting cream marks. If you look carefully, there's very fine little marks. You see it very easily in the sun. It's very dominant. You can see it clearly. It's called halos. It looks like these hundreds of thousands of little swirls. Unfortunately, the sun has set, and I can't show you how it looks. But you just use a bit of swirl remover. It makes your job look amazing. Generally, I can also say you can use this stuff if you want to go to a car show and you want your car to look amazing and you're tired, you know, a long week of work, use a bit of this stuff with a buffer, it makes your car look fantastic. I love this. And so, yeah. But it's going to be a quick once through, nothing special. Just always remember when you're at this step that any sanding marks that are still present, this stuff will not take it out. It's like I always say, when you're wet sanding with 1,200 grit, 20 minutes extra will save you 40 minutes when you're using the 2,000 grit. 20 minutes extra with the 2,000 grit will save you 2 hours on buffing with a cutting cream with the Presto Ultra. Buffing with the Presto Ultra will save you 4 hours of this stuff. It's really just exponential time saving when you just do the job right the first time around. You make sure everything's complete. That's why I go around 2 or 3 times. I make sure my substrate that I'm working on is done in the correct fashion, done the right way. I don't like going back. There's nothing wrong with going back. Everybody makes mistakes. We're not perfect. We're just painters. We practice painting. We don't really do painting. So, yeah, I'm going to hit it with this stuff. And then just a quick, application of the wax. Wait for it to haze up. Rub it off with the microphone cloth. And you're done. And the car will look amazing. The hood should go on there tomorrow. And then I'll do a little bit of a photo shoot. All right, so 5 minutes worth of polishing with a soil remover, and I mean, it's astonishing. I mean, look at that. That is gorgeous. I am so happy with this finish. That's why I say, you cannot skip a step. You cannot, cut corners. I mean, look at that reflection. That is gorgeous. That is perfect. I love this. I love this. Absolutely. You can see when you compare it to a frame from the beginning of the video, it is an unbelievable improvement. This is fantastic. I'm very happy with it. It's not perfect, but you can't ask for better than this. This is what you work for. This is all those hours sanding, all the hours of body work, all the work you've done on this car to bring it to this point. This is what the payoff is. This is that finish. And we're still going to go further. We're still going to put on our wax. And our wax is even going to make it shinier and more beautiful. And it's going to protect your paint job. And all those layers of paint, it's going to age beautifully. The cars are going to fade. You can probably cut and buff it 1,000,000 times. You cannot ask for more than this. This is just absolutely beautiful. This is why I do what I do. And I'm sure this is why most guys do what they do. I mean, this is just, I can't stop looking at it. You know, just when you finish painting, you're not quite finished with the job yet. You've still got cutting and buffing to go. We've still got to do assembly. We'll go through the car one more time to just check for quality control purposes, you know, any spots we might have missed, any places we might have cut through, any issues like that, and we touch it up. But yeah, that's pretty much how you do it. 4 hours worth of work on a hood. So you can imagine it takes a while with a car. And there you go. It's not perfect. Nobody's is. But this is about as close as a person can get to it. And there's many ways to get to this point. There are faster ways. When you're doing panel beating, when you're doing factory style paint jobs, it's a whole different story. You want orange peel. It makes the job easier to blend in the future. It hides imperfection, it hides your blends. But when you do a job like this, a custom paint job, you want that smoothness, you want that slickness. It needs to look like syrup. I mean, when you look at this reflection, that is absolutely what you want. And yeah, patience. That's what you need. Yeah. So I look forward to showing you guys the rest of the car.